How's it going, guys? It's Eclipse here, and today we've got a brilliant replay for you on World of Tanks console. This is a comparison between the old FV4005 and the new version with the nerf, and also what it's like after update 6.0. So this is a really old replay from 2018, just about 2 years old, and this was probably my best ever game in the FV4005. It was one of my favourite tanks, and hence why I've played nearly the most amount of games in it. It just got to a point where I was getting a bit sick and tired of playing in World of Tanks, just getting artied all the time in my usual tanks. And so giving back a little bit of punishment to people that YOLO you in solo queues was really nice. As you can see, the Glory IS-5 pokes there and gets absolutely demolished in one shot, and we deal 1550 damage, that of which you'd be unlikely to do now since the 400 alpha damage nerf back down to 1450 instead of 1850. I mean, I understand it is for balancing reasons, and you know, it does make the tank more balanced, but to a point where, you know, you can't do things like this, although with the new accuracy you probably can, as we just about hit the Conqueror in the cupola and set him on fire for nearly full health, 1850 pretty much there. We're on 2 kills already, up to probably around 3,500 damage, and this is the sort of things that I loved about playing the FV4005. I keep trying to call it something else, but we'll keep it PC. And basically, yeah, I've got 2 marks. I did get really close a couple times to the third one, but I never really. I did have a few times where it's just like I get up high and then I'm just having a laugh with my mates and we'll just mess about, and it just ended up, you know, you go down quite a bit as we pen the 75 there, another 1900 roll nearly. And this is the sort of thing you used to be able to do with a shit start. It's just ruin people's games literally every time. And you know, if someone pokes around on you, they're going to take a big old hit due to the penetration that you used to have, and also the alpha damage. So not only did it get that reduction in alpha damage, it did also get a reduction in its Hesh pen, which is the round that you would 100% fire every time previously, because there was no point in firing AP. And there we go, finishing off the motherland there. Probably wasn't aimed fully, and that's the thing what I loved about it. You did have to get lucky to have games like I'm having right now, but it's fantastic when you do, and when you're hot, when your shots used to hit. Nowadays, because of the update, you're able to hit a lot more, just because of the accuracy update. And we see that there's a couple tanks around here, and just because, you know, with the accuracy, you used to be able to hit shots when you fully aimed, you know, and that sort of thing, but it did take quite a long time, and it's not something you could rely on fully. That's so 4 kills for us so far, 6 shots, or 6 damaging ribbons. No longer get those anymore. Kind of a bit annoying to not actually be able to see those. I did quite like them just because, you know, they gave you an indicator as to whether you hit or not. The Waffle E100 there getting hit, you can see I was quite happy with that one. I think that was quite a lucky shot for me to actually hit, and right now I'm just thinking if I push up, I might be able to get some more damage, but it might also mean that if I do push up, there won't be much left by the time I get there, so it's a bit of a risk. I'm going to go for it because I'm on, you know, 4 kills and a lot of damage so far. We've managed to pen every shot we've actually hit, which is something that you don't get that often, and especially now you definitely don't get that often, but when you do, it's so satisfying. So with a tank like this, you really can do those trades. You're an absolute monster when it comes to trading with people. You know, you can take 400 and you can deal 1400 back, so as long as you're able to pen, don't go pulling around corners where you're probably taking multiple hits, and if you can take a 400 hit for 1400, then that's fantastic, and you want to be doing that as often as you can. And that's something I really got used to, and it actually rubs off quite well for the other tanks, because when it comes to trading, that is the aspect of keeping yourself alive in the game, making sure that they're taking more damage than you are. You can learn quite a few things just from playing the Shitstar over the course of it, getting to the line as well, because obviously the previous ones like the Conway and the Charioteer and all of the ones below the Challenger, they are all glass cannons, and they're not able to actually put out that much damage all in one burst. And so learning to use the alpha damage of the tanks is essential, really, in order to get the damage. As you can see, I'm going for the loads of amount of damage there. I see him moved over. I really want the damage, and he pulls back into our shot. 1200 damage there. Brilliant. Pick up 5 kills, and you'll see the amount of damage we did that game. Oh, that was one of the nicest games, I think, and luckiest games I've had in a long time. Especially since right at the end everyone was crowding around. Usually you don't get enough of the damage at the end to get up to the really high numbers like you do see in this game. But it was one I really did enjoy. As you can see on screen now, these are the post-game results and what it used to look like. We made 80,000 silver there with premium. We did 10,198 damage, got a mastery badge of course, killed 5 tanks, 7 pens as well. So that was a fantastic game, really enjoyable. Penned every shot we hit, and fantastic. Alright guys, so we're in with the second replay. We're here on Malinovka, not the best map for the Shitstar, just due to the openness of it, the amount of potential for you to get artilleried, and also because of the size of the tank, you're going to get hit from a lot of different angles, and that's going to be a real pain with regards to just trying to avoid any damage that you're going to be taking. So this is obviously after update 6.0. This is a really recent game today, actually, on Boxing Day, and it was a really good game in terms of the way it turned out in the end. I thought at a couple points I was just going to 100% die, and we did get a bit lucky at one point later on, as I'm sure you'll see. And basically what we're doing here is we're thinking it's a bit risky to go up there. A lot of our team are out in the field and they're going to be spotting over there, so although if I go over there I'm probably not going to have that many shots or opportunity to actually get any damage, and especially when you don't have that alpha damage punch that you used to, where you could shut down tanks reliably in one shot like previously, then I'm going to have to move, I'm going to have to do something else in order to get that effect. And I know due to the equipment changes and perk changes that have come in recently, you can actually get the reload down to around 22 seconds, I believe, in the FV4005 now. And also it is worth firing AP every now and again, as you'll see here when we're just about to hit this 279E. We hit him for 1,086. Kind of depressing because we used to be able to hit tanks. Probably would have penned that with the 1850 alpha, so we would have shut him down for even more health. But that's the difference between then and now. We've definitely had a big nerf, and it just makes the tank feel a little rough to play. Like it's not a fun tank to play anymore, in my opinion. It becomes more of a challenge. You've got I guess not a fun challenge either, because sometimes having a tank that can work, but I feel like now it just comes down to luck more than anything in terms of whether you'll have a good game or not. Tanks can YOLO you, and because obviously you have no armor whatsoever, it just becomes a case of, well, they're always going to pen, and so you can deal 1,000 damage reliably to people with the 313mm of AP pen that this gets. But 1,000 damage to them, but they're probably going to be able to dish out more than that back to you, so it's not really worth it in terms of to trade with, say, medium tanks with high DPM, and even stuff like Jaegerus, because they reload in a similar sort of time, so it no longer becomes worth it, as we have an awful shot there. I don't know what I was doing there. But that was it was just getting used to it again. And obviously with the accuracy buffs now, you can actually hit tanks' weak spots a lot better. So I suppose after the nerf, it's actually kind of got a little bit of a buff, because now you can actually hit tanks reliably. He says, as I completely miss the back of a Conqueror there with Hesh as well, so we would have penned him. And this is the problem with this tank. Sometimes it's so frustrating because, yeah, you do everything right, you've aimed in the right place, and you just get RNG'd, and you get punished really hard in this sort of tank, because everything hits you. You're a massive box, and especially with regards to artillery, there's not much you can do. And it's a case of, like, if you shoot at the wrong time, it's really bad. Like, we do try and just shoot there because we're not doing anything, getting a little bit frustrated, etc. And you never know with this new accuracy buffs that we've got recently. Now I decide, you know what, I'm not going to try and shoot people over ridges with this tank, and I'm just going to try and move up and get some shots onto these guys. We hit him there, but we only track him, and this is the problem now. Used to be able to reliably hit and pen people, but as you can see, that Conqueror, we find it very difficult at range to be able to pen him. This IS-4, however, when he's showing us the flat back of him, we're going to have no trouble in taking him down and stealing those 1266 hit points. We could definitely low roll for that, so you know, that's a good pen. And we're up to 3k damage so far, which is it's not a good result in the Shitstar, really. Not really, but it's a game where, you know, you'd take it. If I died right now, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's something you definitely don't want. We see the object 430, and I'm thinking he's probably going to do that again, because he's the one spotting the enemies, and obviously he's going to be getting assistance. And so just pre-aiming for tanks like that, just using your brain a little bit, just going, well, he's been there once, what are the chances of him coming back? Am I in any rush to move anywhere else? No, not really. I'm just going to wait, see if he pops up again, and maybe take him down. We move over there just to see if we can hit, and it's just a case of just taking out as many tanks as possible nowadays. And with the accuracy, that's definitely 100% easier than it used to be. We're aiming back because he's probably more than likely going to move back. There we go. We hit him. We penned him. That's his game ruin there. And that's the problem. I don't like tanks like this. I don't see. Although I'm playing it, it's not fun, because it can equally happen to you. It's like that guy just had his game ruined because obviously I was sat here waiting and just you know what I mean. It's not fun. It's the same with the artillery. Like, the fact it can hit you from the base and you've got no chance of doing anything is really, really, really frustrating. Here we make a massive misplay. I misjudged the spotting of those TDs that are over there. They're all in a platoon except from one. I think it's 2 object 268 version 5s, and we're expecting another shot to hit us there. There it is. I'm thinking the third ones are probably over there. I'm going to take a hit. Luckily we don't. We were probably actually got hit by Jaeger as well, and a 268 version 4 instead of both the 268s. As you can see, the M103 is over there. He's looking at us, but he's probably not going to be able to hit us. There's no artillery, so we don't have to worry about those. The good thing about this new kind of system that we've got in is we can actually use our DPM a little bit more. It's kind of made this tank a little bit more usable. It definitely was not usable in my opinion, I could not warrant playing this over something like a medium before. Just for the pure fact that it didn't have great DPM. It no longer had that pack-a-punch where you can just take out tanks left, right and centre and avoid them from YOLOing you, and to the point where if they YOLO'd you, they were going to die. They were going to lose 90 to 100% of their hit points if they decide to do something reckless and stupid, which you should get punished for. But now it becomes a case of like, you can no longer reliably kill the people that YOLO you because you don't always pen now, and also it becomes a case of you no longer get the alpha damage to be able to shut down people that quickly. So I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that this tank's really not great anymore. It definitely isn't worth playing in my opinion anymore, at least not on the regular. Like, I really don't enjoy it that much, and I played it just to see how it was. I know that obviously the accuracy, you can get down to 0.3 accuracy with this gun. Ridiculous. I'm still not in total agreement that the fact of these perk changes making tanks like this ridiculously good. I understand that they like to use the perks, but being able to use them on any tank makes the classes seem a bit just useless. It's like, why would I want to play a light tank now? Because the mediums have just as good review range, except they get good DPM, they have armor, and light tanks have just become irrelevant. So it's just not something I want to be doing. It just doesn't make sense at all. Side of a Jaeger, shut him down easy. We definitely have the pen to be able to go through the side of one of those when it's flat anyway. And this is the good thing, if you do aim and use this new accuracy system that they do have, you can actually hit the shots that you're looking at now. We do get a little bit unlucky with hitting the 263. We must have hit the armoured mantlet or something, or not the mantlet but the actual armoured front of the tank instead of hitting the side, because the side is absolute paper and we would have automatically penned that. We're waiting here now. I decide I've got to move up if I want any more damage, and of course I do when I'm on 6.2k. Want to push that into a really good game. I'm maybe going for the third mark in this tank, but I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll push it now, since I have played a lot of games, and I just want to prove that they're not. It's not because I can't do it. It's because I've just messed about in it too much, especially when I get close to the top ranks. So I'm going to push, just try and get as much damage now, and I think it's definitely something I'm going to try and do. We see the 263 comes back using the outline, and of course we just wait for him to come back. And that's the thing you've got to do with this tank. Don't push in, because the amount of times I've pushed in and got absolutely wrecked by about 3 or 4 different tanks. You've got to kind of let them open, let the shots open up to you to be able to shut people down. We use this ridge up here to get a bit more elevation on the M103 who's sat out there. We probably wouldn't be able to get a decent shot, and it's all about increasing the chances of being able to hit people. So that's 7,622 damage on Malinovka. That's not a bad result, especially for this tank in this kind of matchmaking. 1,507 base XP, which is, it's alright. It's nothing too special. We do get a mastery badge, and we're at 89.5% on our marks, so only another 5% to go. I'm always on 2 marks. It's just a case of whether going between like 92 and down, because obviously one penetrating shot with Hesh decides between going up and down. You could go up by penning that shot by 0.13%, but if you don't pen it, you go down by 0.5%. So it's just trying to consistently do like 4k plus in the FV4005 to get that third mark, and that's something I've been trying to do over the last couple of days. Well, I say the last couple, I just mean Boxing Day pretty much. I had a couple of games, and I think I'm going to push that next for my third mark, get that done and checked out. So I hope you guys like to see the comparison now, what the strengths and weaknesses are now. Obviously the accuracy in update 6.0 has made the tank more accurate, and you know, those AP shells become more of a kind of usable thing. Obviously the Hesh Ammo with 240 pen now is kind of a bit of a trade-off. Do you want to always do damage, or do you want to be able to actually consistently pen things? So like, you know, if you're not going to pen an angling tank, then you might as well fire Hesh, because you're going to splash them for 500. So it's all about kind of choosing your ammunition wisely. Obviously if you're against medium tanks like the AMX 30B or something like that, then you're going to go through it regardless of which round you take. So always taking the Hesh against those sort of targets is definitely advised, as long as you don't hit the tracks, and that's something you have to avoid and kind of think about, more so now because you don't get that penetration. Is if a tank's side on, it's actually worse than if they were frontally on, as long as it's not like a really heavily armoured heavy like a E100. You can no longer pen those through the mantlet anymore, unfortunately, although it is balancing like to not be able to do that, because that is just ridiculous how, you know, you can do that, or you could do that before. But I hope you guys have kind of enjoyed seeing the past and the present, and just having a little bit of a look at what it was and what it is now. And I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, I hope you leave a like, and also you can subscribe to see some more content from me. I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas and your Boxing Day, and I hope you guys have a great new year. I shall hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.